Xylem and phloem are called vascular tissues, and when they are found together, it is called as vascular bundle. It is a thin strip of meristematic tissue found in the vascular bundle. Vascular cells are the cells which are found near the xylem to facilitate the movement of water. Hello everyone, welcome back to session 5 of this chapter called Anatomy of Flowering Plants. Myself, B. Shobharani from the Department of Biology, Vidyashram Pre-University College, the Temple of Excellence. Hope you remember in the last session, we studied about the tissue system where we came across the three types of tissue system, namely the epidermal tissue system, the ground or fundamental tissue system, and the vascular tissue system. So when we were learning about the vascular tissue system, we came across the two very important vascular tissues, namely the xylem and phloem. So here in this particular session, we are going to study about the types of vascular bundle. When do you call it as a vascular bundle? As you all know that xylem and phloem are called vascular tissues, and when they are found together, it is called as vascular bundle. So we are going to, the arrangement of vascular bundles is not the same in all the parts of the plant body. It varies from a root to a stem and to a leaf. So the arrangement of vascular bundles varies from that of a stem to a leaf and from leaf to a root. So in this particular session, we are going to study about the arrangement of vascular bundles. So as I said, when xylem and phloem is found together, we use a word called vascular bundle. And also in today's session, we are going to study about the TS, the transverse section of a dicot root with that of a dicot stem. In a similar way, we are going to study about the anatomical feature of the transverse section of a dicot stem with that of a monocot stem, and TS of a dicot leaf with that of a monocot leaf. So let us begin with this types of vascular bundles. As I said, when xylem and phloem is found together, it is called as vascular bundle, right? So here arrangement of vascular bundles. So when xylem and phloem is found together, it is called vascular bundle. That is, so this is phloem and this is xylem. So when phloem and xylem is found together, this is called as a vascular bundle. As I said, types of vascular bundle. One is called radial. Here you can see in the picture. Next is called conjoint, concentric. Radial vascular bundle. Here this is called collateral closed vascular bundle. So what do you mean by collateral? Here when we come across, first let us understand about radial. So this is called as vascular bundle when xylem and phloem are arranged on two different radii. They are not together. Here you can see they are on different radii. Here you can see this is phloem and this is xylem. This is phloem and this is xylem. So they are alternating each other. But here you can see this is called the conjoint collateral vascular bundle. So when xylem and phloem are found together, it is called conjoint vascular bundle. So when do you call it as radial? When the vascular bundles are not together but they are found on separate radii alternating with each other. So this is called as the radial vascular bundle. When do you call it as conjoint? This is called as conjoint. This is called as conjoint collateral. I'll get back to what is collateral. First understand what is radial. What are the types of vascular bundles? Radial, conjoint, concentric. Collateral, bicollateral, closed. All that is there. Anyhow, I'm going to explain one by one. So what is radial? When xylem and phloem are arranged on two different radii, alternating each other. each other, alternating each other is called radial vascular bundle. Here you can see this is called radial. What do you mean by, for example, you come across radial vascular bundle in dicot and monocot root. So what do you mean by conjoined? When xylem and phloem are found together, it is called conjoined. You may wonder why it is called collateral and close. As I said, always phloem is above and xylem is below. So it is called collateral. Why it is called collateral? Conjoined, why it is called conjoined? Xylem and phloem is found together. Hence it is called conjoined. Why it is called collateral? Because xylem is below and phloem is above. Why it is called closed? There is no meristematic tissue, no cambium. Here, absence of cambium. You can see this. This is called cambium. What is cambium? Cambium is a strip of meristematic tissue. It is a strip of meristematic tissue. So cambium ring, it is very, very important for the formation of annual rings. I think hope you know that there is one branch of biology called dendrochronology which deals with the study of the age of the tree. How do we assess the age of the tree? By observing the number of annual rings. One ring is equal to 1 year. So one cambial ring is equal to 1 year. So what is cambium? It is a strip or a layer of meristematic tissue. It may be found in between xylem and phloem, or it may not be found in between xylem and phloem. If at all cambium is present between xylem and phloem, it is called open. When it is called closed, when it is not found. So here you can see that it is conjoined collateral closed. Here it is conjoined collateral open. What do you mean by bicollateral? The middle xylem is surrounded by outer phloem and inner phloem. So this is called inner phloem. This is middle xylem and that is called outer phloem. Bi means what? Two. So you come across phloem at two sides. So one above, one below. In between xylem is there. As I said, why it is called collateral? If phloem is above and xylem is below, it is called as collateral. So that is radial means what? Radial means xylem and phloem are arranged in two different radii. Conjoined means when xylem and phloem are found together, it is called conjoined. If phloem is above and xylem is below, it is called collateral. It is called closed when cambium is not present between xylem and phloem, it is called closed. When cambium is present between xylem and phloem, it is called collateral, open. Why it is called bicollateral? It is conjoined bicollateral closed because the inner xylem is surrounded by outer phloem and outer phloem. Now, concentric. Here you can see the concentric. Here we can see the concentric. That is either, concentric means what? Either xylem surrounded by phloem or phloem surrounded by xylem is called concentric. If the phloem is surrounded by xylem, this is phloem and this is xylem. This is xylem and this is phloem. So if phloem is surrounded by xylem, it is called amphicribal. Phloem is surrounded by xylem, it is called amphivessel. Here, xylem is surrounded by phloem, it is called amphicribal. Here, phloem is surrounded by xylem, it is called amphivessel. This is called radial. So this is all about the types of vascular bundle. When we study the anatomy of the root or the stem or the leaf, you will understand better as to what is the arrangement of these vascular bundles. Continuing, conjoined. As I said, this is called conjoined, collateral conjoined. Both the xylem and phloem are arranged on the same radius within a compact bundle like dicot and monocot stem and leaf. So as I said, if this is called, this is phloem and this is xylem. So it is called conjoined. Both the xylem and phloem are arranged on the same radius within a compact bundle. Example, you can take dicot and monocot stem and leaf. Open, when the cambium is present between phloem, the vascular bundle is said to be open. So when cambium is present, here it is called open. So here you can see the cambium. Here it is, no cambium is there. Here in this diagram, there is no cambium. What is cambium? As I said, cambium is nothing but what? Strip of meristematic tissue. Strip of meristematic tissue or a layer of meristematic tissue. So it is called open. So for example, dicot stem. When it is called closed, When the cambium is absent between xylem and phloem, the vascular bundle is called closed. Example, monocot stem. Cambium, as I said, it is a thin strip of meristematic tissue found in the vascular bundle. So what is conjoined? Both the xylem and phloem are arranged on the same radius within a compact bundle. Example, dicot and monocot stem and leaf. Open when the cambium is present between xylem and phloem, the vascular bundle is said to be open. That is example, dicot stem. Closed when the cambium is absent between xylem and phloem, the vascular bundle is called closed. Example, monocot stem. Cambium, what is cambium? It is a thin strip of meristematic tissue found in the vascular bundle. So this is called conjoined collateral closed, conjoined collateral open, conjoined bicollateral closed. Here it is called concentric. If this is phloem and this is xylem. This is xylem and this is phloem. So if xylem is surrounded by phloem, it is called amphicribal. If phloem is surrounded by xylem, it is called amphicribal. This is called radial vascular bundle. What do you mean by radial vascular? Alternating. So this is phloem, this is xylem. This is phloem and this is xylem. This is phloem, this is xylem. This is phloem, this is xylem. So phloem alternating xylem, xylem alternating phloem is called radial vascular bundle. Hope you have understood the arrangement of vascular bundle. Now let us study about the anatomy of a dicotyledonous and monocotyledonous plants. First we'll start with the TS of dicot root. We'll take the example that is taken for the study of TS stands for what? TS stands for transverse section. This is a very important part, even from practical point of view. You need to take a thin section of a root or a stem and study the internal structure. Exactly, you'll get like this, right? So first we'll take the comparative study of TS of dicot root with that of a monocot root. So here for TS of dicot root, what is the example that is taken for the study? That is sunflower, Helianthus annuus. And for the TS of monocot root, maize, Zea mays. Right, now let us start with the anatomical features of TS of dicot root. The outermost layer is pyliferous or epiblema. Because we are talking about root, the outermost layer, in case of stem, it is called epidermis. Outermost layer. In case of root, it is called epiblema. So the outermost layer in case of stem, as we already studied the epidermal tissue system, it is called epidermis. In case of root, it is called epiblema, or it is also called as what? Pyliferous layer. Here, you can see this is the epiblema, first one. Next, the term epidermis applies only for the stem and leaf outermost layers because their outermost layer is covered by cuticle. Hence, the term epidermis is not applicable for roots. Next, presence of unicellular root hairs in the epiblema. Here you can see the unicellular. This is called trichoblast. So first one is what? Epiblema. So first one, outermost layer is epiblema. Second one is what? It gives rise to unicellular extensions called root hairs. What is the main function of root hairs? Absorption of water and dissolved mineral solid. So epiblema. Second one is unicellular hair called trichoblast. Right. Next comes what? Hypodermis. Hypodermis. Next comes what? Cortex. Next comes what? Endodermis. Next, this whole region is called the stele. Stele comprises of what? Vascular tissues. Namely, these two are called as what? Vascular tissues. And here you can see this is called pith. And can you see this? This is called the medullary rays. Medullary rays. Pith, or you can also use the word called medulla. You can also use the word called medulla. So, in the study of anatomy of a dicot root, the outermost layer is epiblema, right? And the presence of and the epiblema will give rise to unicellular extensions called root hair. Then, the cortex, here we can see this is called as, this is the cortex. This is epiblema, this is So, 1, 2, 3, third part. So, what is the third part here? The cortex constitutes many layer thin walled parenchymatous cells with intercellular spaces. So, this is, the cortex is made up of what? Parenchymatous cells. So in the study of TS of a dicot root, which is the first very important part, first is epiblema, which is the outermost layer. Next, which epiblema will give rise to unicellular extensions called trichoblast. Just below the epidermis, we have hypodermis. Here you can see hypodermis. Hypodermis will be either made up of collenchyma or sclerenchyma, or here it is made up of collenchyma. Then next comes the cortex. Cortex is made up of what? Parenchymatous cells. So the innermost layer of cortex is called endodermis. Next. So this is the third point and this is the fourth point. So the innermost layer of cortex is called endodermis. Endodermis, how is endodermis? Here you can see the endodermis consists of a single layered barrel shaped cells without intercellular spaces. So here what is endodermis? Endodermis is a single layered barrel shaped cells without any what do you mean by intercellular space? There is no space between two cells. They are compactly arranged. Next, presence of Casparian strip in the endodermis. So wherever you come across xylem, you don't find these are called the Casparian strips. These are called as Casparian strips, or they are otherwise called as Casparian bands. These are made up of a chemical substance called suberin. They are also called as suberized cells. They are also called as what? Suberized cells. So, presence of Casparian strip where? In the endodermis. Particularly where? Wherever you don't come across xylem, there you come across Casparian strips. So, the cells where you don't come across Casparian strips, they are called as what? Passage cells. They are called as passage cells. Passage cells are always found near the xylem to facilitate the movement of water. So what are Casparian strips? They are nothing but made up of suberized cells or suberin, and you don't come across the Casparian bands or the Casparian strips wherever you come across xylem, and they are called as passage cells which facilitate the movement of water. So next to endodermis, there is a few layers of parenchymatous cells called pericycle. So here we come across the pericycle like this. This is called the pericycle. So this is one more layer here, and this is called pericycle. Next to the pericycle, that is initiation of lateral roots and vascular cambium during secondary growth takes place from the cells of the pericycle. So the cortex constitutes many layered thin walled parenchyma cells with intercellular spaces. The innermost layer of cortex is endodermis, and endodermis consists of single layered barrel shaped cells without intercellular spaces. And presence of Casparian strips is found in the endodermis, but where do you don't come across Casparian strips? Wherever passage cells are found. What are passage cells? Passage cells are the cells which are found near the xylem to facilitate the movement of water. You know what is the pathway for the absorption of water? From the soil, that is, the pathway is like this. Soil, water to hairs, root hairs to via epiblema, epiblema via cortex endodermis, via endodermis, that is passage cells, to xylem, xylem to pith. From there it is applied to different. So this is the pathway. This is the pathway for absorption of water. This is the pathway for the absorption of water. So next to endodermis, there is a few layer of parenchymatous cells which form the pericycle, initiation of lateral roots and vascular cambium during secondary growth, and takes place from the cells of the pericycle. So the parenchymatous cells present in between xylem and phloem is called conjunctive tissue. So this is called the conjunctive tissue. This is called the conjunctive tissue. Right, here you can see the arrangement of vascular bundle is radial. Radial vascular bundle. Why it is called radial vascular bundle? You can find that. So this is xylem and this is phloem. So why it is radial vascular bundle? Xylem alternates with phloem. Xylem alternates with phloem, hence it is called radial vascular bundle. And the parenchyma cells present between xylem and phloem, this it is called the conjunctive tissue. Or you can also use the word called medullary rays. The number of xylem and phloem bundle is usually 4, called tetrarch. So here you can see the 4 vascular bundle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hence it is tetrarch. Whereas in case of monocot root, it is polyarch. Many vascular bundles are found. So this is very, very important. And here you can see the pith is small or it is reduced. Then the number of xylem and phloem bundle is usually 4, called tetrarch. All the tissues on the inner side of the endodermis, such as pericycle, vascular bundles and pith, constitutes the stele. So this whole region we call it as what? Stele region. Hope you have understood the anatomical features of a TS of a dicot root. Now let us study about the TS of a monocot root. So this is how the monocot root looks. So more or less everything is same, except for we can find that the number of vascular bundles here, it is polyarch. Here you can see many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And pith or medulla is very large. And here you can see the cortex region is more, right? So TS of monocot root, what is the example we are going to take? Maize. The scientific name is Zea maize. Zea maize. Right. Now, the outermost layer is pyliferous layer or epiblema. Here you can see the outermost layer. And presence of unicellular root hairs in the epiblema, that is called unicellular. So this is nothing but called what? Trichomes. These are the trichomes. Next, the cortex constitutes many layered. Here you can see this whole region is called cortex, which is made up of parenchyma cells. Which is made up of the parenchyma cells. So the cortex constitutes many layered, thin-walled parenchyma cells with intercellular spaces. So the innermost layer of the cortex is called what? Endodermis. This is called endodermis. So the endodermis consists of single-layered barrel-shaped cells without intercellular spaces. Same presence of Casparian strip in the endodermis. So Casparian strips are found on the endodermis but not present wherever passage cells are present. Because if Casparian strips are present in the passage cells, they will not allow the water to pass to the xylem. So wherever xylem cells are there you call it as passage cells, and there you don't find the Casparian thickenings. So TS of monocot root consists of the outermost layer, which is otherwise called epiblema or pyliferous layer, then presence of unicellular root hairs called trichomes, and the cortex constitutes of many layered thin-walled parenchyma cells with intercellular spaces, and the innermost layer of cortex is called endodermis. The outermost layer is epiblema and the innermost layer is endodermis. And endodermis consists of what? Single-layered barrel-shaped cells without intercellular spaces. Presence of Casparian strip in the endodermis. Next to the endodermis, there is a few layers of parenchymatous cells called pericycle. So there is one more layer here like this. This is called the pericycle. This is called the endodermis. And this is called the pericycle, right? So here we can see wherever you don't find xylem, there you come across the Casparian strips. These are the Casparian strips. Casparian strips. What are Casparian strips? They are nothing but called subberized cells, made up of a chemical substance called subberrin. Subberized cells, made up of a chemical substance called subberrin, right? So next to the endodermis, there is a few layers of parenchymatous cells form pericycle. The parenchymatous cells present in between xylem and phloem is called conjunctive tissue. So this is called the conjunctive tissue. What is conjunctive tissue? The tissue that is found with the parenchymatous tissue that is found in between xylem and phloem in the stele region is called conjunctive. And it contains more than 6 xylem bundles, hence it is called polyarch. See here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is called polyarch. Whereas in dicot root, it was tetrarch, 4. Here it is poly. Poly means what? Many. Then it is polyarch. Pith is large and well developed. There, pith was very small and reduced. So here you can see this is the pith. Pith is large. Pith is large. There it was very small. Then all the tissues on the inner side of endodermis such as pericycle, vascular bundles and pith constitutes the same. Do not undergo any secondary growth. So the process of secondary growth will take place only in dicots but not in monocots. Hope you have understood the anatomical features of the monocot root also. So in today's session we have studied about the arrangement of vascular bundles, then the TS of dicot root and the TS of monocot root. So I'll be back in the coming session with some more interesting concepts of this chapter called Anatomy of Flowering Plants. Till then, goodbye and thank you.